has heard that a man died in his blazing flat on New Year's night when his partner couldn't rouse him due to drink and sedatives.
The fire service has issued a warning about the dangers of candles. It's thought they were the cause of the fire, as John Andrews now reports.
The fire service arrived at the flat in Union Street within 6 minutes of the first call, but 2 fire officers in breathing apparatus couldn't get beyond the front door because of the heat. The inquest was told that moments after they withdrew, there was what the fire service called a flashover, an explosion of heat so intense they could have been seriously injured, if not killed. It was several hours before the body of George Summers could be retrieved from the flat. It was so badly burned, his formal identification could only be done by dental records. Earlier that evening on New Year's Eve, George Summers had proposed to his partner Bart, seen here at his funeral. Bart Summers told the coroner that George had been a heavy drinker and was also taking prescribed sedatives for his anxiety. The post-mortem report said that at his time of his death, George had 3.5 times the drink drive limit of alcohol in his blood, and that this was probably the reason why Bart had been unable to rouse him and get him out of the blazing flat. The fire service report said that fire had probably been started by candles.
Ideally, we wouldn't want people to light candles, but we know that's not going to happen. We want people to enjoy themselves, but enjoy themselves safely. So if you're going to light a candle, make sure you do it well away from any combustible materials. Make sure they're extinguished before you leave a room, and more importantly, when you go to bed at night, or if you're going to fall asleep.
Bart Summers also told me that he was anxious that no one else should lose a loved one to an accident like this.
Make sure before you go to sleep you blow out all your candles and just make sure that there's no thing that could catch a light. Make sure lighters are away, make sure no candles are going to combust into anything, and because it can happen to anybody.
We heard it could possibly have been the pets that knocked them over.
Yeah, I lost my 2 dogs in the fire as well. So I didn't just lose George, I lost my 2 little dogs, actually, Chloe and Emily.
The coroner recorded a verdict of accidental death. John Andrews, ITV News, Plymouth.
The father of